morning children. In the last class we discussed about pure substances and impure substances, and today we are going to discuss about elements, compounds and mixtures, and what is the difference between these compounds and mixtures. So before going, first we learn about elements. We already discussed matter is classified into two types: pure substance and impure substance. Impure substance we also called as mixtures. Pure substance again it is categorized into two: elements and compounds. In that, first we are going to discuss element. And what is element? And element is a pure substance we already discussed, and it is consists of only one kind of atoms. That's why it is called as elements. And now presently we have nearly 180 elements, and in 180 elements we are categorized into metals, non-metals and metalloid, and we already discussed the properties. And for elements we have some rules to write. For example, what is the first element we are discussing? Hydrogen. So what is the symbol of hydrogen? We are going to write as H. What is the second element? Helium. And what is the symbol of helium? H. Here we have some rule to write the symbol of the element. What is the use of symbol? Symbol is the shorthand representation of an element. We require symbols to write the chemical reactions. It takes so much time to write full name, so that in order to decrease the time, they have introduced the symbol. So symbol is the shorthand representation. And remember carefully, whenever we are writing the symbol, the first letter of the symbol should be of capital letter, and the next letter should be of small. And the symbol, the elements are the pure substance. And for 9th class, everyone should try to learn the first 30 elements and along with the Latin names. And also in the order of elements, we have some elements. For example, hydrogen, and the first letter will be used as symbol. For some elements, for example, we have sodium, but we don't write the symbol of sodium as S. We are going to write it as Na. Why we are writing Na? Because they are Latin names. Natrium we are going to use, and Na is the symbol which we use for the representation of the sodium elements. So try to follow the rules and try to learn the first 30 elements. Understand? So this is about the elements we are going to have. Next, when you come for compounds and mixtures, what is the difference between the compounds and mixtures? So compounds are those when two or more elements, we have more than 3 elements also combined. When 2 or more elements combine chemically together in a fixed ratio, we are going to call as compounds. For example, we have CaCO3. We are going to just call as a compound. Why it is called as a compound? Because this consists of more than element, 2 or elements. For example, we have calcium one element, carbon and oxygen. These 3 elements are chemically combined together in a fixed ratio. And whereas we have one more, like H2O, 2 or more elements we have, but it has a molecule. What is the difference between molecule and compound? Molecule is also one type of pure substance, but we have 2 or more elements of only 1 or 2 elements. 2 elements will be combined chemically. There also, but it is not a compound; it is a molecule. They are going to combine chemically. And what is the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is 2:2, and what is the atomic mass of oxygen? 16. So 1:8 we are going to combine chemically. So we have more compounds are there. Already discussed, these compounds are also exist in the form of acids, bases and salts. We have tried to learn the formulas of the elements, compounds. For example, daily we are going to use some compounds such as washing soda, baking soda we are going to use. Washing soda, baking soda, for example, we have a NaHCO3. We are going to use the washing soda we call as NaH, baking soda, NaHCO3. What are the elements are classified? Sodium, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen. NaHCO3. Understand? Say baking soda we are going to call it as, which is used for faster cooking purpose. It is a mixture of so many elements. It has a sodium, hydrogen, carbon and oxygen. They are combined chemically together in a fixed ratio. We have washing soda. The formula of washing soda is Na2CO3. It is also consists of more than 2 elements: sodium, carbon, oxygen. So what are compound actually? Compound is also a pure substance, but in this we have more than 2 or more elements chemically combined together in a fixed ratio. And next, mixtures. Already we discussed how many types of mixtures we have. We have two types of mixtures: homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous and hetero. What is homogeneous? Homogeneous also is a mixtures. It is also have two or more substances. Even in mixtures also we have compounds also. It also consists of two or more elements or two or more compounds. But here they are not chemically combined together. There is no fixed ratio. They are present in different composition, different variable natures, different substances we can able to mix. Here the ratio is not going to fixed. And in homogeneous solution and heterogeneous, they are mixtures. In homogeneous mixtures, we can mix. For example, in homogeneous solution, we have the best examples we are going to take as solutions. What is solution? For example, when you are preparing the sugar solution, salt solution. For example, salt plus water. When we combine the salt and water, they are going to make a solution. We call it a salt solution or brine solution. After when we prepare the solution, we are not going to observe any boundaries, or they are uniformly mixed. The salt and water, they are mixed uniformly, and we are not going to observe any boundaries. Such type we are called as homogeneous, and we can take all solutions are examples of homogeneous. And for heterogeneous are those here the particles are not mixed uniformly, and in this we are going to observe the boundaries we already discussed. And for example, if you mix sand and water, when you mix sand and water, the sand is going to saturate the water, and the water is going to be on the top of the sand, so that we are going to observe a boundary. So here, if we observe a visible boundary between the substances, then it is called as heterogeneous. If we do not observe any boundaries, then we call it as homogeneous. And what are the differences are there between the homogeneous and heterogeneous, homogeneous and mixtures? Today we are going to learn some properties, how we can differentiate about mixtures and compounds. So we are going to study the properties of mixtures, and for that to study we are going to take two examples: iron and sulfur. And iron is a metal and sulfur is a non-metal, and the color of the sulfur is of yellow color. And by using these two, we are going to study the properties of mixture. First one, for example, if we combine the iron and sulfur, and we are going to observe and how we can able to differentiate, how we can separate these iron and sulfur. The first method we are going to use is magnet. We already discussed. So mixtures, here the iron and sulfur are not present in fixed ratio. They are in variable composition. We can take so much amount what we can want. So this iron and sulfur are mixed in a different proportion. Now we want to separate. Already we discussed. Mixtures can be separated by some physical process. We have various physical processes. In that one is magnet. By using magnet, we can separate iron from sulfur. So that we can separate the iron and sulfur. And next one, by using organic liquid called as CS2, carbon disulfide. For example, if we took a mixture of iron and sulfur, and in that we added some amount of carbon disulfide. Iron cannot react with this carbon disulfide. Only sulfur is going to react with this carbon disulfide, and the sulfur is dissolved in carbon disulfide. Now we get separately iron, and the sulfur is dissolved in the carbon disulfide. Now then we are going to move with a process called as filtration. In the filtration process, we separated this iron, and we get one more liquid, a sulfur which is dissolved in a solution. Then after we go with the process called as evaporation. Like that we are going to separate the iron and sulfur. Remember carefully, what is the first method we are going to use? The first method we are going to use a magnet. We can separate the mixture of iron and sulfur by using magnet process. So when you take a magnet near to the iron and sulfur mixture, the iron is attracted towards the magnet. That is one method. Then one more method to separate the sulfur from the iron by using an organic liquid called as carbon disulfide. And if we just pour a carbon disulfide in a mixture of iron and sulfur, this sulfur is going to react with this organic liquid CS2 and the sulfur is dissolved, and whereas iron cannot react with the carbon disulfide. Then after this iron is separated through the process called as filtration. By filtration process we can separate the iron. Then after we can separate the sulfur from the carbon disulfide by a process called as evaporation. And also we have different one more chemical reaction. For example, when a mixture of iron and sulfur is taken and when it is reacted with a dilute sulfuric acid. For example, we have taken a mixture of iron and sulfur, and when it is reacted with, for example, when iron is going to react with sulfuric acid, then we are going to observe FeSO4 and also we are going to observe a gas called as hydrogen gas. Whereas, remember one thing, sulfur cannot react with the sulfuric acid because sulfur is a non-metal. Only metals react with the acid and then they release a colorless gas called as hydrogen gas. So that when you take a mixture of iron and sulfur and when it reacts with the sulfuric acid, only iron can react with, but whereas sulfur cannot react. The same way, when you take the mixture of same iron and sulfur, if you react with the carbon disulfide, so that only sulfur is going to react with the CS2, whereas iron cannot react with. So that mixture will show the properties of their constituent. When we took the mixture of iron and sulfur, when it reacts with the sulfuric acid, here it shows the properties of the iron. And whereas when we took the mixture of sulfur and iron, react with the carbon disulfide, it shows the properties of sulfur. And the same way, mixtures won't have any fixed. It does not have fixed melting point and boiling point. Why they don't have any fixed melting point and boiling point? Because already we discussed, mixtures are those which we do not take in a fixed ratio. They are present in variable composition. That's why they do not have any fixed melting point and boiling point. One more thing, mixtures are heterogeneous and they are also called as heterogeneous. Why? Because when you combine the iron and sulfur, we are going to observe the boundaries. We are going to separate. We are going to observe a layer between the iron and sulfur. That's why it is also called as heterogeneous. And remember one thing, when mixtures are going to be, it does not neither release any heat, light or electricity. Nothing but we do not observe any releasing of heat, light, electricity during the preparation of mixtures. These are the properties. So what is the first property? Mixtures can be separated by using some physical process. We can use various physical processes like evaporation, magnetic separation, we have water crystallization, we are getting some coming classes. There are various methods we can use. One more, mixtures don't have any fixed melting point and boiling point, and mixtures are mostly heterogeneous. We are going to observe some boundaries. And mixtures are those which do not have, understand, we should show the properties of their constituents. And also when we are preparing the mixtures, it do not neither release heat, light or electricity when we are going to prepare the mixtures. Next we are going to study properties of compound by using same iron and sulfur. In mixtures we separated iron and sulfur by using process. But whereas when you are preparing the compound iron and sulfur, when we heat the iron and sulfur, then we are going to get iron sulfide. And the color of the iron sulfide is of black. And before we heat, the sulfur is yellow in color. But when we mix the iron and sulfur, when we heat, then we get the iron sulfide and it is of black in color. Then how we can go to it? In mixtures, it is separated by using magnet and by using the carbon disulfide. Whereas in this, by for example, if we use a magnet, the iron cannot be attracted. Why? Because it loses its nature. When we heat the iron and sulfur, we get a compound. This compound iron sulfide, and this iron sulfide, when we take in a magnet to this, the iron cannot be attracted. Whereas when we use CS2, carbon disulfide, sulfur is reacted in mixtures with the carbon disulfide. But whereas here, the sulfur cannot be able to dissolve. So that it has different nature when we go with the mixture and compound. But here, for example, if we took the same iron sulfide plus when it reacted with the H2SO4, then we observe a reaction. We are going to observe FeSO4 and also we are going to observe hydrogen sulfide. Whereas when we react with that sulfuric acid, we are going to observe hydrogen gas in mixtures. But whereas here, whenever this iron sulfide is going to react with the sulfuric acid, we are going to observe a rotten smell, which is called as hydrogen sulfide. The foul smell is going to be observed. So here we not get any hydrogen gas, we get hydrogen sulfide. Whereas here, is compounds of hydrogen ferrous sulfide has a fixed melting point. It has a fixed melting point and boiling point because it is a ratio. For example, when we took the iron sulfide, the weight of the iron is of 56, the sulfur weight is 32, and 4 jar, 14 jar, 7 jar, 4 jar. So that the iron and sulfur are in the ratio of 7:4. So they are in a fixed ratio. So that definitely they are going to have fixed melting point and boiling point. And we are going to observe whenever we are preparing in a mixture of compound by using iron and sulfur, there is a large amount of heat energy is going to be released or observed when we are going to prepare the compound. And one more, this compound cannot be separated by using any physical process. When we use a magnet, we cannot able to separate. Either when we use a carbon disulfide, we cannot able to separate. So what is the difference between the mixtures and compound? When we use the example of iron and sulfur, compound mixture can be separated by using physical process like evaporation. We have a sublimation we can able to use in coming classes. We can also use the magnetic process. But whereas a compound cannot be separated by using physical process. And in mixtures, it can show the properties of its constituents. But whereas a compound cannot able to show. And compounds do not have any fixed. Compounds have fixed melting point and boiling point. But a mixture do not, because it is not in a fixed ratio. Variable composition is going to be present. And when we are preparing the compound, energy is going to be absorbed in the form of heat, light and electricity, or it is going to be released. Whereas in mixtures, we don't observe any absorption of energy in the form of heat, light and electricity. So just go through the textbook and watch the video carefully and try to differentiate between the mixtures and compounds. In next coming classes, we are going to discuss various examples regarding the mixtures and compounds, and we can able to we can identify whether it is a mixture and compound. On this video, we are going to give assignment. Try to complete in your books. Thank you.